Hello and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video, I really do appreciate it. And this one, we're going to be covering the 25th of May edition, 2021 of AEW Dark. With that being said, jump right into it. Opening matchup was between Nick Comoroto and Duke Davis making his AEW debut. And Nick Comoroto is, simply put, a monster. In AEW, he really is. And him picking up the win in fairly quick fashion was nothing I did not expect. But you know what? I think he's really starting to get more and more on the rise because he's given a chance to just be the beast he actually is. And nobody gets neither of those the native beast. But you know, Nick Comoroto is just a guy who's just on a tear right now in AEW, and he's continuing to be on that tear. And then picking up another win in a fairly quick match was something that's to be expected. And you know, he's going to be a dark horse in the AEW Dark Casino Battle Royale, which is happening this weekend, actually, tomorrow. No, sorry, Sunday, my apologies. I record this on a Friday. It's happening on Sunday, of course. It can be part of the Casino Battle Royale. We'll see what happens. So, that being said, fun opening match. The next match was Aaron Sodor versus Ganon Jones. And this was kind of weird. Nick Comoroto is part of the Factory, which is QT Marshall's faction, and so is Aaron Sodor. So basically, I'm going to say simply put, as soon as Nick Comoroto match finished, this one went into fruition because Ganon Jones and Duke Davis are tag team partners on the independent scene, and we're here. Well, obviously not here, but Ganon Jones was at ringside during Duke Davis's match. And of course, as soon as the match finished, Aaron Solo came in because he was ringside of Nick Comoroto. And they started the next match, which was something I didn't expect. I've never seen an AEW Dark before. But you know what? Sometimes it's kind of cool to throw that in. And Aaron Solo, again, is another guy who's been on the real tear of late. He's starting to show more and more what he can do, and I'm so proud he is because I really like Aaron Solo. I think he's underrated, I think. He's picking up the win and continuing the Factory's momentum, shall we say. It's no bad thing, so thumbs up to another Factory win and an Aaron Solo win. Can't fault that. Ooh, there we go. And next match was Dark Order number 10 versus Dylan McQueen. And you know what? This was actually quite a good match. I wasn't expecting a whole lot from Dylan McQueen because he's only been in AEW once since he's been there. And of course, Dark Order number 10 has just been an absolute tear in 2021 in AEW, and he showed it a little bit more here, but not to say Dylan McQueen, so I didn't get a chance to show what he can do a little bit. But Dark Order number 10, I think, has been on the rise, and I think he's going to continue to rise. And the only loss he's had for some time was his loss against Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. But this was actually quite a decent short match, and Dark Order number 10 just showing what he's all about, and you know, he's a guy that I think is going to continue to be even better. And maybe one day get a chance to be the shining star of Dark Order, and that's saying something because they've got some shining stars in that little organisation. So, him picking up the win with the full Nelson as he's been using as of late, nothing wrong with that. And I do like number 10 Dark Order. I think it's great. Again, a guy who's right on the rise, and not saying that Dylan McQueen didn't show some good stuff in this match, sorry. And this was a fun short match, so thumbs up for that. Can't fault that. This match was Evil Uno and Colt Cabana versus Stephen Andrews and Simon Alonso, making the AEW Tag Team debut. And another win for the Dark Order. And as I said before, you know, I think they're the most beloved faction in all of AEW. They're different characters, and they are pretty much stars of being in the league at these days because they're just hilarious. But you know what? I really enjoyed this one because the Dark Order started to put together tag team combinations you don't see a whole lot of. Even though we did see Uno and Cabana on the same team last week, seeing it again this week, I was never anything against because both veterans of the ring know what they're doing. And it's the Dark Order winning match. What else can you say? It was a fun match, this one. Short match, but then picking up the win in quick fashion, nothing can't complain about. So, here we go. And the next match was Big Swole and Kylan King versus the Bunny and Manny Rankowski. And this was one of the matches of the night for me. And obviously Big Swole and, you know, Kylan King and Red Velvet have formed a little trio. I don't think they have a name. I'm pretty sure they don't have a name. I've not heard it announced anyway. Against a very game Bunny and Manny Rankowski. And I really like this tag match because, you know, Manny Rankowski is someone starting to get a little bit more of a chance to show what she can do in AEW. And the Bunny is, you know, since returning to the ring has been great to watch too. And this was exactly what the AEW Women's Tag Team division is starting to build up as. Even though there aren't many factions in all women in AEW, sorry, maybe it's going to continue because the women's division has been very good this year. It's been superb to watch, and this was definitely a great way to continue to show that momentum and what it's all about. I thought that even though it was a very unusual tag team, the kind of distrust between Kowalski and Buddy was quite funny. No, that rhyme was not intended. But Kyle and King and Big Swole, they just work as a tag team and as a trio with them and Red Velvet. It's just entertaining to watch. And honestly, one of the best things about watching AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation these days, it's just so much fun. So a very good win for Big Swole and Kyle and King, and this was a good tag match, some good hard hitting offense, and the way they did it was very well done, and I couldn't fault it. So I enjoyed it. So definitely thumbs up to all four. Excuse me. Definite thumbs up to all four of them for this one. And this match was the Gunn Club versus Carl Hero and Liam Gray. And the Gunn Club are one man down as of late because of the injury to Austin Gunn, thanks to Anthony Ogogo. But not to say that the Gunn Club, whether it's the father and son combination of Billy and Austin, so Colton Gunn, my apologies. Again, one thing you can't help but love about the Gunn Club is the fact they're just family, and obviously they are family, but a real family feel to what they do in the ring too. They work so well as a tag team, and they had a bit more of a serious edge to them because obviously the injury of what happened to Austin. Not to say that they didn't do what they always do, just be a great tag team. Of course, not many AEW wrestlers are as experienced, as tenured, perhaps apart from Matt Hardy, at tag team wrestling, than Billy Gunn. One of the greatest tag team wrestlers ever. Everyone knows his history, throughout the years, and he's always been a guy that the fans love, and I love him as well, to be honest. I've always liked Billy Gunn. And him showing that kind of more strong attitude, shall I say, because of what's been happening lately, was something I've not seen him do for a while. And you know what? All for it. So, because of what happened to Anthony Ogogo. And it was a fun, short tag match with the Gunn Club winning and, getting some of that aggression out, shall we say. And unfortunately, the opponents suffered for it. So, there we go. But there you go. The Gunn Club picking up a win, and that was much needed, shall we say. And this match was Layla Hirsch versus Vixen, and this was a fairly quick match, I'll be honest with you. Layla Hirsch, if you don't know her, she's one of the best female wrestlers AEW has, and perhaps one of the best female wrestlers in the world at this point. The shortest, as I've said before, in the women's division, but don't let that fool you. She is strong, a fantastic wrestler, and got a legit, toughness about her. And she shows it. She really does. And this match was no different. And a great amateur background, and another win for legit Layla Hirsch with her really strong cross arm break. And I think she's had a good 2021, and she's done well since signing with AEW, and definitely nothing wrong with that because I do like Layla Hirsch. And Vert Vixen didn't get a chance to get some offense in, but this was all Layla Hirsch, and she picked up the win to continue her momentum. So here we go. And this match was Dante Martin versus Jason Burch, and this was actually a fun, short match. I put over Dante Martin many times, and I will continue to do so because I think he's fantastic. A guy who has unfortunately got his brother on the shelf of injury, his brother Darius, but Dante sets up big time as a singles wrestler. He's just showing what he's all about, and Jason Hodge did some decent stuff in this match, but Dante Martin is one of the most innovative wrestlers in AEW at the minute. He does stuff that is different, works, and still has, for me personally, the best 450 in wrestling. He does it in slow motion, so it's great to watch. And he picked up the win in a big fashion before his AEW TNT title match with Miro on Dynamite today, and that's going to be a big match. I mean, I think Miro will win, but not to say I don't want to see, Dante give everything he's got because I really like him, and I think he's a guy that's going to continue to be even better and better as time goes on. So, thumbs up for this match. And this match was actually a fun, short match. Rika Tahaka, my apologies, was Diamante. And Diamante's back on winning ways after her loss recently. And this was a fun, short match, to be fair. And Diamante picking up the win with picture perfect Cobra. She hits it perhaps better than anybody in wrestling right now. And seeing her back in winning ways is great because I really like Diamante. I rate her highly. And Rika Tahaka, I think, might be getting more of a chance in AEW. This is her 5th match in AEW to date. And obviously, I think she's one of the very few Samoan wrestlers there. So that's good to see the Samoan side of wrestling coming into it, because obviously everyone knows of the long tenured heritage and history of just Samoan wrestlers. So she's in AEW doing her thing, and even though she lost, I think we'll be seeing more of her in AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation, or even Dynamite. Who knows? But Dante pick up the win to rebound after a loss was something I like to see. So thumbs up to that for sure. And this match was probably my match of the night. Bear Bronson versus Joe Janela, and talk about two guys that have got such different styles. This was it. And you know what? I'm all for it. I think this was a cracking match. Two very different approaches to the way to do things. Bear Bronson being more of the powerhouse against Joe Janela. And Joe Janela is a tenured veteran by now, and he's done so much, and he's very well known for so many different things in wrestling. But as of late, he's starting to step up to the plate a little bit. And I was happy to see him pick up the win, but not to say that Bronson didn't put up a great match, because he did. This was a very, very good back and forth matchup. And Bronson showed what he's all about in that power game. And he's, no pun intended, he is a bear when it comes to the ring. He's such a strong individual. But Joe Janela is a crafty guy, and he used Bear Bronson's strength against him, shall we say, more than once. And I liked it. Joe Janela put on a very smart performance. Sorry, very smart match, shall we say. And I was all for it. I enjoyed this one. And definitely a match I wouldn't mind seeing again in the future between these two. So definite thumbs up for both of them. These are producing really good stuff. So there we go. Next we had Angelico versus Ryzen, or I like to call Angelico the most tenured submission wrestler in all of AEW, because he has the Navarro style. And he did win the match with the Navarro Death Roll. And one of the more unique matches for Navarro and Angelico, because very rarely does he face a guy that's about the same height, if not a bit taller than him, in Ryzen. And you know what? All for it. And Angelico picked up the win in a short but fun match. Thumbs up. Which brought us to Julia Hart versus Tesha Price. Now, Julia Hart is a newcomer to AEW, and she's been in the ring before. But as of late, she's been kind of accompanying Varsity Blondes to ringside, because the Varsity Blondes have their college jackets on. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what they look like. And Julia has her cheerleader side. So them being the Varsity Blondes, varsity, of course, to do with university and college, and wear the jackets, and having Julia Hart the kind of the same universe of that varsity kind, it makes sense. And you know what? I'm all for it. And this was actually a fun, short match, and a well-deserved win for Julia Hart, because she, even though she'd lost before, this was her best performance to date, to be honest with you. And Tesha Price did some good stuff here too, but this was all Mrs. Julia Hart's night. And obviously a chance for her to pick up more momentum, get a chance to show what you can do as time goes on in AEW, and I'm all for it. So, this was a fun, short match, and Julia Hart picking up the win was definitely very cool to see. So, here we go. Which brought us to the main event of Brian Cage versus Sonny Kiss, and this was a good match. 5 minutes and 25 seconds, not the longest match, but Sonny Kiss is, I've said it before, perhaps the most athletic wrestler in all of AEW, against perhaps the strongest, if not the strongest wrestler in all of AEW, Brian Cage. And very unique situation between these two, and it showed. They did something very cool against each other, Sonny using his athleticism, Brian Cage using his power. And once he did hit the Weapon X for the win, it was not to say that Sonny Kiss didn't get some good stuff in there, because he did. And this was a matchup that I really didn't know what to call winning, because I thought this was going to be a good back and forth match, and it was. And when Weapon X was hit at the end of the match, Joe Janela was accompanying Sonny Kiss to ringside. But after the match, the beatdown from Team Taz, on Sonny Kiss and Joe Janela not trying to help him, unusual. But you know what? It'll be interesting to see what happens from there. And this was a fun, short main event to top of what was a fun episode of AEW Dark. So thumbs up to everybody involved for their efforts. So on that positive note, we will leave the review here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see everybody next time. Until next time, take care.